we have, little rabbits or squirrels and ibises, um, egrets, storks, and usually they come around to feed on our property. They got out of town. I don't know whether it's they hid themselves or they found shelter or flew away, but for 3 days we didn't see any of those animals. And now, after 3 days since the hurricane, which was Wednesday night and then into Thursday morning, suddenly they appeared. So, hey, look at it positively. They're like stroke victims. They disappeared and now they're making reappearance, and hopefully you are the same. You will be better for it, and I wish you a great recovery. Something called Hurricane Milton took precedence and interrupted my life for the past, 1, 2, 3, 4, a week and a day. No, basically it interrupted my life by 2 weeks because I have a lot of hurricane prep, and then when it's over, you have to do a lot of hurricane restoring and especially damage to your house. Luckily, I'm well, and my house is not that very much damaged. My landscaping is kaput, and it will not be recovering shortly. The hurricane made landfall on Siesta Key, and I live 3/4 of a mile from Siesta Key, and I was directly in the hurricane's path. So it was an very exciting experience. Luckily for me, I'm well. The damage done can be repaired. I don't have extensive damage, the odd limb of a tree or some tree savaged, but I'll survive. And I feel very strongly and have such a sympathy for the people whose lives were destroyed. I haven't slept until last night. I went, as I said, 4 days before the hurricane and then the week subsequent without much sleep, so bear with me. By the way, if you like these videos, like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I issue a new video. Basically, why am I making this? Because this hurricane reemphasizes how important it is to take life one day at a time and to definitely accept its trials and tribulations. Some have it worse, some less. Some have a major damage in the destruction of everything they own with a hurricane, and some have little damage, but the emotional scars are still there, and I feel so badly for some of my neighbors. Bear with me. I haven't slept for a long time regularly, but at least I'm alive and my house is intact. I invested in hurricane windows and doors, and wow, I'm glad I did. So, the hurricane teaches you, as I said, the same as the stroke teaches you. Patience, and that you're not going to recover quickly, and optimism. You have to be optimistic. If I thought there were two things that are so important for stroke recovery, those are them. Patience and optimism. Patience to do all that you're going to do and that you have to do to recover, stretching over many years. And when you realize you're spending much of your life in the stroke recovery, say like you're in a gym and on an exercise cycle or on a treadmaster, whatever, and you say, I'm going to have to do this minimally for 5 years, maybe 10, who knows? That's where being positive and patience counts. The patient person rolls up their sleeve and basically gets to work, and the impatient person often doesn't. So make my life easy. Just be patient. Recovery will come, not the same as before, but practically. And it's so important that you have patience and positivity. One of the things that, by the way, just a point of interest, we have, little rabbits or squirrels and ibises, egrets, storks, and usually they come around to feed on our property. They got out of town. I don't know whether it's they hid themselves or they found shelter or flew away, but for 3 days we didn't see any of those animals. And now, after 3 days since the hurricane, which was Wednesday night and then into Thursday morning, suddenly they appeared. So, hey, look at it positively. They're like stroke victims. They disappeared, and now they're making reappearance, and hopefully you are the same. You will be better for it, and I wish you a great recovery. And don't forget to think of my dictum. Don't give in to stroke. Thank you. And I'll see you when episode 28 is launched. As I said, things that you have to know about stroke and always keep in mind. Thank you. 2 days after the hurricane, my neighbor and I drove down to look at his plane to see if it's still there or not. And he was very lucky. The hangar his plane is kept in wasn't breached. Planes all over were, and I show you 2 simple pictures of the result.